we tend to face them each and every day of our lives. So, we as parents to our young children, how do we manage our emotions? How are we going to react to different emotions that we face? We sometimes find that when you are angry, you can be angry, kitu imekukasirisha, na kama mtoto ako karibu na wewe unamchapa. Ama umeita mtoto hasikii. Once or twice, we African parents, we know ourselves. So when we call our children and they don't respond, or we have given them tasks that they are supposed to do, they don't do. How are we going? For instance, we are angry. How are we going to react to these children? Are we going to punish them in such a way that we go against their rights? Yeah? So these children also know their rights. We know that. Wanajua haki yao. So we have to balance that between us and our children. And by doing that balance, we must know how to manage our emotions in whatever circumstances or whatever challenges that we face. I'm going to invite my other teacher to tell us what the pillars of emotional intelligence are. So, emotional intelligence, we are going to see how we react to different emotions and what we are supposed to do. Welcome, Teacher Priscilla.
God is good, and all the time. So I want to welcome you to this forum. I'm happy that my sisters introduced on emotional intelligence, whereby we need to understand what emotions are and how we manage it, how we can be able to not to affect others because of our emotions, or how these emotions can make us behave the way we behave. So we have 4 major pillars of emotional intelligence. The first one is self-awareness. This one involves being able to recognize your own emotions and also understanding how they influence your actions to yourself and even to others. So the second one and the first is that we'll be able to help us to be aware of ourselves. The first verse is Psalms chapter 139, verse 23 to 24. We are not reading, you just write. You read at your own time. Then we have Lamentations chapter 3, verse 40. It also talks about self-awareness. Then we have the second pillar of emotional intelligence is self-regulation. This involves managing emotions in a healthy way. When I'm angry, how do I calm down? How do I cool my anger without affecting anybody? So, in a healthy way. So it also enables us to adapt to changing circumstances. Sometimes you may lose a loved one. How will you cope with that? So that is self-regulation. The third one is empathy. Empathy here refers to understanding other people's emotions. Once you understand that if I do this to this person, he will react in a negative way, you should be able to know how to control that. So it enables us to understand other people's emotions and know how we can manage them. And also, it will enable you to be able to offer comfort and even support where necessary. That's why we need to know this emotional intelligence. The fourth pillar, it is social skills. These ones will enable us to build and maintain good relationships with others. Also, it makes us to have effective communication, because if you cannot communicate well with somebody, are you able to understand that person? You can't. So you need to be able to look for a way of communicating with somebody effectively so that you can understand each other and also help that person. Also, this one can also be found in the book of Matthew chapter 22, verse 39. Also, there you will get that. Then we have in self-awareness, we find that through theories of study of human behavior, they have recognized 4 major dimensions known as temperaments of behavior, which I'm going to state, and then my sister will give various strengths in those behaviors. The temperaments are majorly 4. The first one is known as choleric. The second one is sanguine. The third one is phlegmatic, and the last one is melancholy. So these temperaments represent a unique cluster of behavior, and they make somebody to behave how he behaves. Then, who is a choleric person? Is a person who has the following characteristics. The first one is that the person is direct, he is decisive. That means he's able to make decisions. Then we find that he's proactive. He always achieves whatever he wants to do. Also, we find that such a person is focused in life and in everything. And we find that this person is bold. That's courageous. He is also persistent in whatever he wants to do. Also, such a person is always on the right. So he tries to keep away from things that will affect other people. So that's a choleric person. The second behavior, according to the study, is sanguine. Sanguines are people who are animated. They are lively. We find that they are always engaged. They are engaging. They have a good articulation. They are energetic. They are always creative. They are persuasive. That whatever they want to tell you, they make sure that you accept it with that. Also, they are friendly. So that is the second one, behavior. The third one is known as phlegmatic, which is characterized by the following features. The first one is the person is loyal. They are always thoughtful. They are empathetic. They are also factful. Whatever they speak facts. Also, they are always unassuming, meaning once they see something, they have to deal with that thing there and then. They don't assume issues. So they are always caring, they are appreciative, and always understanding. So the last one is melancholy. Such people are always factual. Also, they talk about facts. They are careful in whatever they do, in whatever they speak. They are careful. They are most of the time they are quiet. In whatever they do, they are organized, and also they are logical. They have said that they are self-disciplined, they are reflective, and they are analytical. So I want to invite my sister to come and tell us the strengths of the 4 behaviors. That's what are these, their strengths, and what is this that is not attended, they are unattended to them. So that is the choleric, the sanguine, the phlegmatic, and the melancholy. May God bless you.
Happy Sabbath. Happy day. So we've been taken through emotional intelligence, and for a step towards you being emotionally intelligent is for you to identify your temperament. And the teacher has taken us through the 4 temperaments. How many know their temperaments by show of hands? Teacher Brian, what's your temperament?
I am a sanguine. We are friendly and talkative and outgoing, make a lot of noise, and we make friends easily. So strength is we make friends easily. The weakness is that we also lose friends as fast as we make them. Yes.
Those who raise their hands, and if you're not a sanguine, I saw your hand.
But it has been said. Yeah, sanguine. Okay, it has been said actually. Sanguine also, making friends easily, and we lose them.
Anyone else that knows, Teacher Sarah?
Choleric, phlegmatic. We are readers,
and we are decisive. Temper.
Yeah, so as teacher Sarah has mentioned, you can have a combination of two temperaments. I'll quickly take you through so that I want you to listen, so that by the time we finish this, you should know your temperament. So you be attentive. When I finish, I will randomly ask you. So for choleric, the strengths, results oriented. They are confident, they are decision makers, they are visionary, they are active, they are hardworking. So they usually exhibit self-confidence and self-sufficiency and independence. The unattended areas, they are inflexible, they are dominant, insensitive, impatient, and they may have a strong desire for control and authority. That's choleric. For sanguines, the strengths we have, they are full of energy, thrill-seeking. They are normally known as the social butterflies. They are easygoing. They are optimistic. They are strong communicators, and they are very confident. The unattended areas, they are reckless, impulsive, poor. They have poor concentration. They easily get bored. They are attention seekers, and they have mood swings. For phlegmatic, the strengths, I think I fall under this. They are consistent and dependable. They are great listeners and supporters. Conflict resolution skills. They tend to avoid conflict. People with phlegmatic personality traits are skilled in reducing tense situations. They are balanced and grounded. The unattended areas, they are passive. Because of their reserved nature, people who are phlegmatic may sometimes be seen as passive or lacking in confidence. Avoidance of difficult decisions, difficulty in expressing emotions, and they have a tendency to be overlooked. Melancholic, they are analytical and methodical. They are highly organized and planned. They are loyal and devoted. They are creative and artistic. Despite their reserved nature, they are very sensitive to the feelings of others and are reliable supporters. They have high standards driven by an inner need for perfection. The unattended areas, they are perfectionists. Their pursuit for the ideal can lead to frustration, self-depreciation, and harsh criticism of others. They are oversensitive. They feel emotions deeply, making them prone to mood swings. Social withdrawal and inflexibility. They prefer working alone and can be resistant to change. Procrastination. Their need to analyze every detail can cause them to delay starting projects. So personally, I think I'm in the last two, melancholic and phlegmatic. Now, did you listen? I know I was very fast, but I'm sure you analyzed some of your traits. So I'm going to have two children and two parents telling us if they've identified their temperaments. So before I choose, who wants to tell us? Someone that has already identified their temperament. We'll start with the children. If you don't say, I'll pick anyone. And especially those that are hiding.
I am a sanguine.
Why do you think you're a sanguine?
Because I talk too much.
She thinks she's a sanguine because she talks too much. Now, I'm going to a boy. A boy that can help the boy child. Boys? Oh, Leon. Awesome.
Friendship. Because you can make friends, like when a friend just comes in your estate and he's new into it, it's like his first time. You can just make friendship. Like me, I have a lot of friends, which I people which loves me.
So where do you think Leon falls under? Sanguines. Thank you.
Not that I identified. I had identified earlier. I'm melancholic. We have low patience. Look at the ugly side of us. We have low patience for ignorance and stupidity, and we are overly analytical, and that also brings down. Because you're overly analytical, you go over and over again on an issue that you need. So the implementation stage is put backwards because of procrastination. Yes, but the good thing is that melancholic people are very sharp people. Yes.
So our mommies, anyone that has identified their traits? Choir director.
My daughter wanted me to speak. I am hot-tempered. I speak immediately. I see a mistake immediately. I don't wait tomorrow. I don't know. Niko wapi?
Choleric. So thank you very much. And just a conclusion of the whole thing. All personalities, like we are all children of God. We are all needed in the service of God. So all personalities have their strengths, as we have seen, and their unattended areas. None is better than the other. So we should learn to know our temperament and learn how to improve our weak areas so that we can be good for the service of Christ. I'll leave you with the verse, Galatians chapter 5, verse 16 to 18. Let me just read it quickly. But I say, walk by the Spirit, and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh. For the desires of the flesh are against the Spirit, and the desires of the Spirit are against the flesh. For these are opposed to each other to keep you from doing things that you want to do. So let us walk in the Spirit, and may God lead us to understand our temperaments and to work on our weak areas so that we can strengthen the work of God. Yes.
Thank you. So we have seen what emotional intelligence is. And I'm going to give you verses, if you can write. What does the Bible say about emotions? We have different verses that support this topic. We have Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26 to 27. We also have Proverbs chapter 29, verse 11. We have James chapter 1, verse 19 to 20. Another book is Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 to 7. We have Psalms 34, chapter 34, verse 18. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. Nehemiah chapter 8, verse 10. Proverbs chapter 15, verse 13. And lastly, we have 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. So you can read those verses. And now I want to welcome our next teacher, to talk about child protection. Sister Judith, welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, church. I want us to learn about child protection, and before I speak, it's good to thank the church who allowed us go and learn about this together. It's something that I'm still also learning, and I would love to share with you what we learned. And there is a lot that is coming up in terms of how to take care of the children, and as a church, we have a responsibility. And if you allow me talk about the mission of the church, that is the Seventh-day Adventist Church, is to provide a safe, spiritual, and abuse-free environment for every child who attends the organization and its program. Yes, so we have a huge responsibility to take care of our children. And I remember on that day we were even asked, who do we entrust with our children? Because sometimes the people we entrust with our children are the first abusers. And so that calls upon on us as a church, that do we even train the teachers that we leave our children with? It was a big lesson for us as teachers, and I'm challenged to learn on how to handle these children even before I speak to them. And child protection, there are measures and policies that are designed to prevent and respond to abuse, neglect, exploitation, and violence against children, and it encompasses safeguarding children from physical or emotional harm. There is sexual exploitation, there is child labor, there is harmful traditional practices as well. And this is all children, including the vulnerable children, because in the book of Matthew chapter 18, verse 1, we learn that God is a God of all the weak and the vulnerable. And so, as a church, are we proactive enough in our ministry of children to take care of our children and mind of even how they come to us? You know, sometimes we mishandle children, and it is wrong. Because let me give this example that the teacher clearly put it well on that day. If a child comes and probably they've put on their shoes wrongly, what do we do? And especially the peers, what do? They laugh. And do you know the impact of that on the child? It hurts and harms the child. Yeah? And as teachers, we will tell them, look at you. You're big enough. You should know how to put on your shoes. Umeva chipolo. See, that's what we'll do. But we learned on that day that you can do it in a very friendly manner. What if you just come down to the level and tell them, come, I want to show you how to put it nicely. And then you remove the shoe and you put it nicely. They will have learned, and imagine they will also do the same to the other children. And so we need to teach these children that even as they grow, they should mind about their peers. Mchongoano, how I would put it in a better way. It is something that we do as a play, but it is not right. And especially when you know you're hurting your other fellow. It is wrong. Sometimes I sit with the children and listen to just how they play amongst themselves. There are those who are very kind to each other. But there are those ones, wanachongoana sana, and mchangano hurts. So let us learn to be kind to other children. And as a church, there is a question that I wanted to ask, and to ask your reaction. This statement, just read it, hear it as I read it. Children are not a distraction from more important work. They are the most important work that we have to do. Children are not a distraction but they are the most important work that we have to do. Who understands that statement, and what do you garner from it? I want a parent to probably share what it is that they understand from this. Thank you for that. We shine for him. Shine, shine. For Jesus, every day, shine. Any other perspective? Any other different perspective? Children are not a distraction from what we know. They are the most important work for us. Any other perspective that you might give it? And because why this is important is because sometimes we tend to leave the kids to survive, especially in the church. Yeah? When they come, we feel like they are distracting us. We do not give much attention to them, but that is not what God wants us to do. They are the most important pillars that we have in this church, and we need to safeguard them and to listen to them. And this is, in our church manual, it reads that the Seventh-day Adventist Church Manual states, the church should be a safe place to bring our children. Everyone involved in work with children and who are minors must meet all the church and legal standards and requirements before attending to the children. And so this gives us a responsibility to know that we need to take care of our children in the best way. We entrust them. I remember there's one of the preachers who was saying that their child was hurt while in church. You can imagine as a parent, you've left your child in church, the safe place that you know you can leave your child. But when they came back, their child had been abused in church. And this was a 4-year-old child. Yeah? And so we all have a responsibility just to ensure that our children are safe in church. And there are some principles which are zero tolerance for us to learn. One of them is for the child protection. We need from online safety. We need to not expose we need to not expose our children so much to phones and these online gadgets, but with care, we can do it in the right way. Yes, there are some inappropriate behaviors that we also need to be keen into, inappropriate communication, our language to the kids. Like I don't know how to put it, but if you want to teach your child how to shower well, how would you put it? How do we call that part? We are told we need to call it by its name. Yes? So there needs to be appropriate communication, because if you do not, they will learn that other one that you do not want them to know. Yes? Taking personal photos and videos, that has been quite highlighted. Telling sexual jokes, yes? Showing a child material that is sexual in nature. Intimidating or threatening a child. How do we threaten these children? Yeah? And we also need to stop making fun of them. Like the example I gave, someone is struggling to even put on their shoes. It is effort. Like today, if my young baby puts on shoes, that would be really effort. And kama ameiva chipolo, as we call it, making fun of it is not right. Instead, we can slowly show them how to put it in the right way. And so it is a lot of material. I may not go through everything, but in summary, we need to be prepared. Prepared as a word going down. And P is becoming proactive. And R is respect relationship. That is it. What it means is that we should as well respect these children. When they tell you something, listen, come down to listen to them. And once you understand, then you're able to give them the needed guidance. Yeah, educate the children and the adults as well, and protect your flock. We need to protect these children. Don't allow anyone to just come and give them whichever content you have no proof of. Let us protect them. And we need to act responsibly as a church and even as parents and guardians. We need to report suspected abuse. Whenever you have seen something of concern, it's important that it is reported, and we need to effect change in attitude. And we have a duty to protect harm from our children. So that is it in summary. I don't know whether anyone has a question to ask. Yeah, but the most areas of abuse that we may be keen on significant harm is physical abuse, there is the sexual abuse, there is the emotional abuse and neglect. Again, let us not neglect these children. Let us make them feel part of us in everything that we do. Yes, and we avoid the inappropriate behaviors that we sometimes do unknowingly, yeah, the materials that we expose them to. And lastly, let us thank the church for just allowing us to have a forum where we can learn with our children and to grow with them. Yeah, I think that's it in summary. Any question that we may ask. And this is even supported by our Constitution of Kenya. So even as we grow, it's good to learn and to know what is new and what we need to be aware of. In more developed countries, our children can take us to court for the things that we do which are not right. And let's be careful not to be there. Yes? Any other question? Any question? Yes, Elder Oje. Let's give him a chance to ask.
It is not okay when our First Lady has to walk all the way to bring me a microphone. I have had the privilege of living in estates where kids are very safe. In my estate in Nyayo, you could not walk out of the gate without the watchman stopping you and asking you, where is this child going to? And the same applies to where I'm living now. They're very safe where they are. But those are exceptional cases. There's some cases, like if you go to the Kijiji, there's no wall, there's no askari. When a child is outside and is at the mercy of the whatever environment they find themselves in. How do we as society make sure that even in those less safe environments, the vitongoji dunis, our kids are protected? Question number 2, there are some careers if you go, you apply, like for instance, you go to ADRA or World Vision and you want to be employed, they have to have a background check on you, especially on whether you are a child molester or you are the Jeffrey Epstein of this world. How do we as a church make sure that we don't have a Jeffrey Epstein employed to work with the children's ministry so that the church is a safe place for even our kids?
Okay, those are very hard questions, and they are for us. Elder Wado is here, will help us. But one thing I know is that we, as a church, we have a responsibility to train those who we want to entrust our children with, so that we know that they are with their teachers who are members that we know. But sometimes we struggle to have teachers to take care of our children. Sometimes once in a while you find you just somebody who is available and they're allowed to take care of the children. That is wrong. But our leaders are supposed to prepare the children teachers wherever they are supposed to take care of the children. On the other part, I will allow Elder to speak about it. But what I also think is that we can also empower these children as they grow. One thing that I always tell my girls is that they are very much exposed to danger and that they need to be careful. Whoever calls them, if it is a stranger, they should not listen to them. Yes, even if they are very friendly and calling them, they should not listen to a stranger. We are now going to the next step where we need to have passwords to allow us to communicate further. But what I'm trying to say is that we also need to empower them, because even in estates, we have neighbors who are not good, and they will lure these kids with things that can make them fall into trouble. But for me, I believe in talking to them alongside the people we live with who are the caregivers, just to ensure that we look at them. But it is a whole, there's no correct or right answer that I could give, and allow me to stop at that and welcome Elder Wadoi to pick it up from there. Thank you.
Thank you, teachers, for the presentation that you have made and the learnings that you have shared with all of us. Allow me to address the two issues that have been raised. Number one was the issue. My elder says that in Nyayo, the children are safe because it's a gated community and where he's staying is gated. And I want to inform you that they might not be safe even in those gated community. They might not be safe even in our own houses. Excuse me. And that's why when we talk about child protection, there are places where many people have said that when you're talking about child protection, we are saying that we should not cane our children. We should not punish them. We should not do all that. And a lot of these things are things that are not true. And we are living in a society where we are reactive, not proactive. We wait until something happens is when we ask ourselves, what do we do? We expose our children to a lot of dangers. Remember, you might be in a very safe place. We are not only looking at people will come from outside or children will come or will go out, but also we are asking ourselves in our own houses, how safe are our children in our own houses? How safe are our children with these gadgets? How safe are they? Yes, they might be very safe. You have people guarding your place. You have dogs all over. But in the house here, you are the one who is abusing them. In the house here, how do you talk to them? How do you talk to them? How do you allow them to grow? All these things are issues that we need to address and allow the children to grow in a more organized way. Remember, in Psalms 127, just allow me to read Psalms 127 and you get something there. In Psalms 127, in verse number 3, is a very powerful text that we are given there, and it says, children are a heritage from the Lord, offsprings a reward from him. In other words, the children we have, yes, we are like stewards. We are custodians. We are supposed to take care of them. So the question that we need to ask ourselves, how are we taking care of our children in all aspects of their life? It is good, yes, you might have ensured that where they are safe, they are in an enclosed place, and everybody else is taking care of them. But look at the way that you handle them. A church environment like this, they might be very safe. You have somebody watching there. But again, how do we can also, putting children down to stay for a long period of time, giving them stuff that they cannot even be able to comprehend. All these are issues of protection that we need to look at. Now, when also exposing them to information that is not, we normally call it, in child protection, we call it that we need to have them, give them information as per their evolving capacity. As they grow, you give. As they grow, you give. However, we live in a society where whatever you think that you want to give them, they know already. So we are dealing with how do you counter that which they know? How do you find out that which they know? So that you verify if it is the right thing or the wrong thing. So that is a challenge where we have. Because we have all the gadgets around. We have the gadgets around. We have people around there. Now in school, whatever they are being taught now, look at the CBC. Is it CBC? CBE. Now what they are taught in primary now, some of us had in high school, all those. But in primary, they talk about it. I see children using the how do you call this book? Is it a figure table? This? For figure, yes. Imagine in primary, I don't know those of us who are here, when did you start using it? And even some of us, you went through high school and even you didn't even know how to use it, but you had it. But now grade 7, they are using it. Can you imagine? Yes. And they're using calculators. Some of us saw calculators, I don't know when. But they're using it. So look at the kind of information they know now. That is also, we need to find out what kind of information do they know. Leave your phone there, they'll go in it until you wonder, how did they go in? They get information out there. That information might not be appropriate for them. And that is what we are seeing. In a church setup, you have mentioned something that also is part of child protection, as the teachers have mentioned here. It is coming in. In organizations out there, right now, if you are employed in a place where you are going to have access to children, you must have a certificate of good conduct. What about in churches? Do you think we need to have it? If, for example, next year, as you go for the elections and nominations, you are told that all the children ministries teachers, all the Pathfinder and adventurers, these are the names that are proposed, but you go and get certificate of good conduct. What will you people say? Mtasema sasa huyu ametuletea shida. Kwani umetuonaje? The issue is not umeonaje. No. Remember, we normally say that in the church is where children are more vulnerable than any other place because we deal with faith. Faith. And I normally say this, and I want to repeat it here, that all of us who work with the children are all culprits. Remember, if, again, my apologies for using this crude example. If you are a carpenter, you are a carpenter, and you are a carpenter, and you make now, sorry for that. Now, if you are a carpenter and you make coffins, where will you have your workshop? Why? Clients are there. Now, if you are a pedophile, where will you work? In a school or churches? And in church, where exactly? So, these people here, they are culprits. They are. Am I wrong? Exactly. Now you might find somebody who is a pedophile or a child abuser, for that matter, has abused all the children in Nairobi East. All of them. Until aoni wacha niende Sabaki. And since you know that person is very good with children, anapoingia hapa, the first place ataingia ni wapi? And you people are so good. You are so good. You don't even check. Atawaambia kesho tukutane na watoto, mtaleta watoto, muache hapo muende zenu. Si ni kweli? Alafu mnaachia nani? So what we are saying is this, and Elder, you have mentioned something that is very important. We need also to look at who are we leaving our children with? Who? And as we leave our children, where are we going? Because remember, the Bible says that we are the custodians of these children. Where are you going? Where are you going? Why are you leaving your children? Whom are you leaving your children with? And at this age, they are so much loyal to people. And if you ask them here now, if the teacher tells them that they are supposed to go to school tomorrow, you will take them. They'll say, teacher said. And that will be the song. You'll not have peace until you take them where teacher wants them to be. So, whatever thing they do, we need to check. We need to check and ask ourselves, how safe are our children wherever they are? Things have changed, even in churches. When somebody comes, and if you look at the rules and regulations within our policies, within the church manual policy, it says that, if you look at the new church manual and even the older manual, says that before someone is given a responsibility to work with children or in any other department and is new, he's supposed to to take 6 months before you are allowed to access children. Why 6 months? So that tunakuangalia vile uko, hivyo tukishaona wewe mtu mzuri, then we'll allow you. But still, you are not allowed alone. There's normally what we call a two-man rule, that you are not supposed to be alone with the children, one person. Sometimes because of a lot of overload, a lot of pressure, you can be able to abuse them unconsciously. Where umeenda, by the way, are you people going for a Kampuri? There's a Kampuri this year. Mnaenda? Sure? Yes, kama. I'll check in the system. Have you registered? Not yet. Mnangojea wafungue tena. Wacha nikuambie. I'm sitting there, hakuna kufungua, deadline ikifika, and it will be a disservice for you people to let your children not to go because of you people not registered. Please register them. Register them. So you find that you are going to Masai Mara, whichever place where the Kampuri is, and you have, as I saw, you have so many children. You have 20 or 30 children, and there are only 2 teachers going with them. That is recipe for abuse. 2 teachers. Unfortunately, there might be 2 male. And I normally say this, it is safer to allow the female teachers to go with boys alone than having male teachers go with boys. Sijui kama mnanipata? 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 Yes. So at any given time, but what should happen is that when they are going out, we need to have male and female staff with the right number. And the buck stops at the church board. When you are approving that you are going for the Kampuri, find out how many teachers are going. And who are they? Don't just take numbers. Who are they? Are they members of Sabaki Church? So that at any time when something happens, you can be able to trace and follow and say, okay, you are the one who went to the children, what happened? So what we are saying here, for us to make sure that our children are safe, we need to support them. Recently, we are in June. In April, there was a report that was given by the PS in charge of children, gender, and all that. And the report said that for since last year, January to April, we had lost 10,000 children. 10,000 children disappeared. The number might look small, might look statistics because your child is not there and my child is not there. Because we are talking about the whole country. Unasema, Kenya mzima, only 10,000. Hiyo ni kidogo. Because your child or my child is not there. But the moment that your child is there, utajua hiyo number ni milioni moja. What are we saying? That these 10,000 disappeared. Just disappeared. Why did they disappear? Because of negligence of adults who are supposed to be custodians. Negligence of adults who are supposed to be custodians. So what we are saying is that we are raising awareness that even in church has been found to be a place where people come and disappear with children. And it happened in one of the churches, just recently, one of the churches around Eastlands in Nairobi. where a child disappeared. On a Sunday when they were meeting, akatoka tu hapo nje, even the askari anamuona tu anachukuliwa, na akapanda gari ingine, na kaenda mpaka right now, na ameenda. On a Sunday, a pathfinder child disappeared. When the parents now ask, mtoto wangu wako wapi? Sema hawajui. Na askari anasema si kuna gari ilikuja hapa ikamchukua. Na akaenda mpaka as we speak now, that child disappeared. Now from church, and maybe you may realize that that person might have been here. There's something that I normally tell people, even a number of my friends, and especially our ladies. Please don't expose the photos of even your child. Don't expose. During the birthday, unamweka kwa picha. Unamweka kwa status, kwa Facebook and all that. Now, somebody can follow you. Can follow because every year unaweka, anachukua hizo picha, anaweka hivi. Akikutana na mtoto wako atamuonyesha. And you know this child needs something. Akiona ameona picha yake. Now what are they doing? They want to make sure that this child trusts them. Si unaona hata niko na picha yako. Hii wakati ulikuwa birthday hii nilikuwa. Hata hii cake mimi ndio nilileta. Hata hajui. The next year hivyo. Nakujua, mommy is your friend, is my friend. Wanaenda. Utatafuta mtoto, utamtafuta sawa sawa. So what we say, if you want to put the photos of children, please cover the face. Cover the face. And the best, please, don't share. Don't share them. Kwani nani unaonyesha mtoto wako? Ni nani, by the way? Friends, wafanye nayo nini? Siwaite muonyeshe hapo kwa nyumba. Just like even here. And I didn't ask this, by the way. You are doing online, eh? This is online. Yeah? Now, did you seek my permission to share me online? Where? I didn't. Now, it is serious. Let me tell you, it is serious. And we were told, you know, Madam Elizabeth Osoro, the magistrate, told us that is a way now people are making money. Anaona tu anaenda pale amechukuliwa anaenda kotini. Why are you sharing my photo without my consent? Not less than 1 million. Unatoa 1 million ya kulipa mtu na mnataka kujenga. Hiyo 1 million LDIC inaweza peleka nyumba. Children. When you're going out with children, please ensure that the parents give the consent that they have allowed you, number one, to take photos of their children. Number two, let the children give assent. Now, wakubaliana. Ambia watoto, tutapiga picha zenu. You know, the world has become that bad. Why? Because people take advantage. Unakuta mtu amechukua tu picha pale ulikuwa una think with the eyes closed. Unaona kuna wale wana think with the eyes closed. Unajua hao? Especially adults, they don't doze. They think with the eyes closed. Exactly. So as you intercede and say, God, from here to here. Amechukua hiyo. Hiyo ndio anatuma kwa social media. Wanasema na huyu mzee si angelala kwa nyumba. That is wrong. So people have abused all that. So they are just rules to ensure that people don't take advantage of others, and especially these children. These children. And my prayer, and from the way I've heard the teachers talk here, I know you are going to develop a document, just a write-up, that says who is supposed to work with children. When we are going out for a camporee, we are going out for, like we are going out, do you normally go swimming, children? Do you like swimming? You love swimming. When are you going next? I asked teacher to take you tomorrow. How many want to go tomorrow? You people don't want to go to swimming. Okay, hamtaenda. Mnataka kwenda kesho? Mtaki kwenda. Now, before you take them, teachers, ensure that wherever you are going to take the children, there is a lifesaver. Or because some of us are just like stones. Akirushwa ndani ya maji ni hivyo. Sasa umekuta 5 stones ndio unapeleka watoto swimming. Elder Mbola. Ukianguka ndani ya maji, watoto ndio watakuja wakusaidie. Instead of wewe kufanya nini? Kuwasaidia. So we need to ensure that kama hamna, nyinyi wenyewe as the teachers, you don't know how to swim, go to a place where their life savers. Hapo tunapatana. Now, these are the things that we are talking about. When you're talking about child protection, these are the basic things that we are talking about. Now, allow me to mention one thing, then I wait for the next thing. Also in child protection, there are people who normally say this. That, and I'm saying this with the presence of children here, when we talk about child protection, we are saying that children should not be caned. Mnanipata hapo? Watoto, shule mnachapwa? Mnachapwa? Kuna pale wachapwi. By the way, the law prohibits corporal punishment. If you look at the Children's Act, Cap 141, says there is no corporal punishment. And it does not mention in school. No corporal punishment. What does that mean? Even at home. Elder Mbola, hata ule mtoto wako kichapa, na nikuone, tutaenda tu mbele. Wanajua. But I'm not saying children will misbehave and when you are punished, you run and say tunaenda kureport. Kuna police stations zingine ukienda wewe utachapwa vizuri. Viboko sawa sawa. Wakuambie ulichapwa ngapi? 1, ingia hapa. Watakuongeza kama 3. Wakuambie haya sasa enda ulete mzazi. Now what we are saying is this, and there are people who use the Bible. Who use the Bible? There is a verse in Proverbs. I want to see if you people know it. There's a verse in Proverbs that talks about caning. Umeona. Now, there's a translation that brings it so well. No, hata hiyo, no, acha hiyo. Kuna ingine, there's another one. Not even that one. There's another one. Not even sparing. By the way, where is that one in the Bible? That one. Exactly. Now, in Swahili, even in Swahili translation, some of them brings it so well that, if I may paraphrase, that mtoto amezaliwa na upumbavu. What is upumbavu? Foolishness, stupidness, yani kitu ingine kichafu. Nini itaitoa? Kiboko. But I want to ask, children, funga masikio. I want to ask this, parents who are here. Sasa wangapi walichapwa hapa? Na watoto msiangalie, wangapi walichapwa? Sasa nyinyi si wapumbavu. Nyinyi si wapumbavu? Mlilimwa. Sasa nyinyi si wapumbavu? Iliwasaidia lakini upumbavu bado iko. Ama imeenda? Mlipigwa na upumbavu iko ama imeenda? Ilienda. Hebu niwaulize, and the children still funga masikio Good, wow, these children are good. Funga masikio. Now hebu niwaulize. Now ukienda parliament, parliament yetu, wakina nani wako huko ndani? No, wacha lawyers. Ni watoto ama wakubwa? Ni wazazi. Na ushasikia vile wanaongea? Huwa wanaongea kama nani? Sasa walichapwa? Walichapwa? Bado na wacha kusema walisahau. Nauliza, je, hata wao walichapwa? Na ukiwaangalia unaweza sema kuna upumbavu mwingi Sasa inamaanisha nini? Ile kiboko au kutoa upumbavu? Kiboko haikutoa upumbavu? Kama ilirudi. Sasa inafaa wafanywe aje? Wachapwe. Now, sisi kama wazazi, kuna pahali pia tumekosa. Inafaa tufanywe aje? Tupigwe hata sisi. Watoto fungua masikio sasa. Wazazi wanasema hata hao wako na upumbavu, inafaa wachapwe viboko. Now, what I'm asking, always kuwachapa. These are good boys and girls. Now, what I'm saying is this. Now, let me tell you, saints, it is not only that kiboko is what rectifies behavior. Not at all. Because kama ilikuwa na rectify the life, the current group we have of parents could have been much better than what we are discussing that hawajachapwa. And I'm not saying that mtoto uende ulete kichwa ya kwamba nilisema ya kwamba msichapwe. No, what I'm saying is this. We rely so much on kiboko. In other words, remember I say that we like to be reactive. Unangojea mtoto afanye makosa, alafu unafanya nini? Now, we need to talk to them. Talking. Telling them what is supposed to be done. What is supposed to be done. And agreeing if you don't do this, what will happen. That is what we are talking about. Because watoto wengi wameumia in the pretext that they are being disciplined or whatever. And remember, the word discipline comes from where? It's disciple. Now, you are disciples, Jesus had disciples. Now, did he cane any of them? And why you people want to disciple this one? I'm now a disciple na kiboko. Now, what I'm saying is this. Now, people, don't misquote me. Don't misquote me. What I'm saying is this. That we have taken a shorter route. A shorter route. Because what kiboko does, kiboko inhibits. Inafanya ile tabia ambayo ingetoka irudi ndani. And the moment that kiboko hakuna, hiyo tabia inafanya nini? Inatoka. That is what is happening with most of us. Because tulichapwa sana. Sasa ikawa inhibited. Now when you are a grown up, ile tabia ambayo ilikuwa inhibited inafanya nini? When you are in problems, adults, and I say this because children are here and I'll tell them the reason. When you have problems as a country, what do you normally do? Mnafanya nini? Mnaandamana. Ukiandamana mnafanya nini? Mnavunja madirisha. Na saa hizo mnavunja madirisha, watoto wako wapi? Aya, wao wakiwa na shida wanafanya nini? So nani inafaa chapwe kati ya these two people? Daddy, hata wamesema. Now, remember, there's what I share, and these teachers will tell you, normally tell them, monkey see, monkey do. Monkey anaona vile unakula banana. Hata yeye anafanya nini? Anachukua banana, anafanya nini? So ukitaka monkey asikule banana, wewe usikule nini? La kwa nini mnakula banana mbele ya watoto na wanaona? Na wakifanya ni mbaya na wewe unafanya ni nzuri. It's unfortunate even what happened in Gilgil. It was not a creation of the children. It was a creation of us adults. That is how the society is. That is how the society is. Now these children, remember, normally at mtoto, ukifunza mtoto, anataka kufanya better than mwalimu. Na wanaifanya. And that is what is happening with the Gen Zs now. They have seen, they have heard, now they are perfecting it. And my prayer is that we'll be able to find a better way. And one better way is to go before the Lord. First of all, seek you seek for forgiveness of that which you have not done well and ask God for guidance. How do we take care of these children? How do we take care of them? That is a question that is pending and is a problem anywhere. So that's why in the church also, because tumeona ya kwamba yule ako nje, remember during the first Gen Z's, was it strike or riot or whatever, you saw there were so many Adventist young people who were there. Simuliona? Now, so wako huko nje na si ndio wao ndio wanakuja kanisani. So that is why the church is saying that even the church, and remember at one point they were saying they'll come and flush you people out from churches. Si walikuwa wamesema watakuja kuwatasalimia. Si wale wa nje, ni wetu tu hapo unaona hapa ndio watawasalimia. Now before that one happens, how can we control how we deal with them? When you deal with them ruthlessly, and this is something that has been proven, when you deal with someone, a child ruthlessly, that child will be ruthless. So is there a better way that we can do? But in church, the best way is to ensure that we show the children love. We avoid any person who might bring anything bad. Now, as I sit down, some years back, there was someone who was teaching children skating. How many love skating, your children? How many love skating? Yes, there was a person who was teaching children skating, and it was free. And he was only teaching boys. It was free. What you do, peleka tu mtoto wako town, hapo karibu na uchumi, hiyo space ya uchumi, on a Sunday. Be taught free. Unampeleka, go do your business, utakuja mchukue. This guy was teaching children skating, free of charge. And nobody even bothered. I also took mine. I almost took my son those years when he was still young. But something told me, wachana nayo. Only to realize later on that this person was abusing these boys. Sodomizing boys. And he was a Pathfinder director of one of the churches. Si mtu wa nje, church. And since, you people are so good, ukisikia ni Pathfinder director wa Nairobi East, tuleteni watoto, mbio. And that is what happens. We are making the children who are vulnerable to be hurt. So what the church is doing is that before we release our children out there, we ensure that they are not exposed to any danger. Because when you expose them to any danger, look at how beautiful and handsome they are. Wakiumia, inamaanisha maisha yao pia imefanya nini? Imeenda kombo. So how do we ensure that our children are safe at all times? Allow me to sit. Unless there's any question, maybe we wait. Mwalimu will tell us what do we do. If there's any reaction from the parents, then we can pick it. I can see a hand there. And I'm not seeing mommy is asking questions. Yes, so you idea. There are 3 questions. Sunaweza wapatia.
I know right now we are living in a world where the way we were brought up is not the same way we will bring up our children, because the society in which they are in is different, the exposure is different, their experience is different from ours. But now my question is one. I want to know how we can strike a balance between being we can say a walkover parent, or a parent that is not firm, and still being, as we have said, one that does not rely on the caning. And my question will go directly to this Eli in the Bible. Now, when Eli heard the things that his sons were doing, which were very despicable things, the Bible says he called them and he said, "My sons, I have heard of the things which ye do, and the things ye do are not good in the sight of the Lord, for ye make God's children to transgress. So Eli told his children that they were doing wrong as a man of God. But God was not satisfied with the way he handled the situation. Now, my question is, how firm are we supposed to be? And yet, how do we draw that boundary? Because I believe God came to him and said that you have honored your sons more than me. Because I believe in my own thinking, that's not written in the Bible, in my own thinking, I believe God saw that he was not firm enough with what he was saying. He did correct them, if you read it, but he was not firm enough. So therefore, Eli lost the kingdom of heaven because of the way he treated his children. The Bible says that his sin could not be forgiven even with prayer, because he was too soft. But he did tell them, you know, your makosa ni aliwaambia, akawaambia chenye mnafanya si right. So how do we strike that balance as a point of discussion for the church? How can we be firm without being ruthless?
Mimi yangu si swali bali ni dua tu. Elder Waudi, please, I'm starting off by asking the team that is in front. I look at the tyranny of numbers. If I remove you as our guest, you're a visitor, we're having only one male person in front of there. I'll come to that point later. I'm the leader for men for this year. I hope to serve until January of 2026 first, as I hand over to the new leader. 2027, yes. And one of the things I want to see happen during my time is more involvement of men in the children's department and the youth department. Oftentimes, this lady here, this boss, normally comes, Sister Molin, normally comes and pick me from the class, the youth class. There's a youth class that sits out here in the Sabbath school. And she's the boss. So she tells me, mimi ni mtu wa mkono. She sends me to the children's class, age 8 to 10. Sometimes napelekwa kule kwa ambassadors, 16 to 21. The only team that hajanipeleka together with the secretary, Brother Collins and Sister Angela, is a small group that sits here, ile age 0 to 3. Hiyo alijua hiyo ni tafloat, sitaelewa. So huwa nipeleki huko. But I thank God that in the youth class, for now, we've seen some changes. We had Elder Ken who used to stand there. We had Elder Papa. I see Elder Mbola sometimes going there, Elder Kodek, But other departments, it looks like the children's department, especially in the morning, are an extension of women ministry. I was in Nairobi Central. We had a problem. I was teaching grade age 8 to 9. Very smart people. When you get it wrong, they just rectify you on the spot. And we realize when our young people reach age 15, especially the men, and they start sauti imeanza kuniniwa, imeanza Paul's Adam's apple, we start losing them. They stop coming to church, or they come to church, they go to the balcony, and then ni masimu na dating na seducing each other. So we had to rethink, and we had to overhaul the entire children's ministry department to even have men being leaders of children's ministry, unlike what you have in Sabaki Central Church, where it is an extension of women ministry department. I pray that as a church, we also go back to the drawing board and say, children's ministry. There's a lady, our first lady said, children are not a distraction. So it means even when we choose our leaders, we must make sure that children are catered for. And both male and female must take care of our children so that isiwe ni adara ya kina mama. Tyranny of numbers imetulemea even as you sit in front, and I pray that changes as you go forward.
Happy Sabbath. Happy day. I have a kind of weird question, but it's very good for me to ask. Growing up as a Gen Z, there's some things that we have been exposed to, and it's something that I also think the children are going to be exposed to. But it depends on mzazi wako anakuombea aje ama venye Mungu ameamua kukushikilia, and that matter is on the matters of pornography. it's a very bad thing, and it is so bad in the sense of, yes, as a church we don't discuss it. We never discuss it. But this is something that is there. Because inaweza kuwa ni wewe, as a parent, you have never taken that time, ukae na mtoto wako and discuss about it. And akitafika huko nje, they will find maybe another child, maybe who has been exposed. So when that child is exposed, they will infect your child. And when your child is infected, so atakuwa naambiwa unafinya hapa, ukitoka hapa unaenda hivi, alafu ikikuuliza hii swali unajibu hivi. Atakuwa anapewa instructions zote. But you as a parent utakuwa tu umekaa nyuma unasema, I will not give my child the phone or the gadgets. That is not a block. That will never block the child from getting such content, because children outside here, they have phones, they have gadgets. Hata kama hawana hiyo gadgets hapa, wataenda cyber, watalipa 10 bob, watawatch bado. So how do you cap that if as parents hamjakaa na watoto so that you can discuss these matters? Thank you.
Hamjambo wapendwa. I thank our elder and our teacher for this afternoon. Let me start by mentioning that area he mentioned, or he talked about skating. In fact, that lesson affected me. Yeah, because by that time I had fellows at that age. In fact, apart from just learning skating, they were also selling those boots right there. And the matter was as bad as the elder put it. So it is a confirmation that surely as parents, whatever happens around or whatever goes on around you, let us just try to be aware, investigate and find out, confirm and get involved, particularly if you have a child at that particular age. Whichever age, is it 0 to 3, is it adventuring, is it Pathfinder? Get involved in whichever age where your children are, in class or in school. Now, next, because we are talking about concern on our children, there are a lot of bites out there in the supermarkets. Number of bites are there with different brands. But friends, my concern today is, have you ever tried and investigated and find how genuine these things are? Because on the screens, they're advertised. And we easily go into our supermarkets during your shoppings and you pick them, take them home. Others start biting right from the supermarket. Friends, some of these things are very dangerous. And in fact, let me say most of them are very dangerous. The bites that we get anyhowly, casually, from the supermarkets. And they have contributed a lot to health, deterioration of health of our children. Now, this young man has talked about, whoever gave me the mic last, has talked about something that we may deny our children a few things or some knowledge from home, but as they go out there, they get access to these informations. It is very true. And at times, it is true that from such informations, we've lost our children, even unto death, when they are now tasting independence like in colleges. Because they get access to gadgets, they get access to the society teaches them these things, and so they get involved, and definitely the results are never admirable. And so, as a teacher, as a parent, we have twin responsibilities. You'll be a parent, but at the same time a teacher. And if you ever miss to double task, it is going to be very dangerous on you in future or tomorrow, particularly in the life of the young men, of the young people. But surprisingly, today in the world, or global world, or the global village, this old man called Bill Gates has a problem with us, particularly Adventists, because you want to teach the children that in the beginning God created man in his own image. He created him, he created them male and female in his own image. But here in school today, they are taught otherwise. I think I saw a textbook somewhere that is describing a family to be very different from what the Bible describes a family to be. I don't know if I got it wrong. That there is a family that can be either man and man in a family, or a lady and a lady as forming a family. And that thing confused me, and it baffled me. I wonder is there any parent who has seen anything like that? I'm told this is the curriculum today. And so as we are as parents, this thing is very risky, it is dangerous, and if it is what is going on, then we must be firm as Christians to confirm to our children that a family strictly is composed of a man and a woman. Because definitely from there is where we have what God says, that the duty of man and woman is waende wajaze dunia. See, that statement is there in the scripture. Yes. So kuenda kujaza dunia inanichanganya if this is no male or female forming this family. Because right now I've got friends who are in this youth ministry or who are in the youth age, and they are not talking anything to do with marriage. What they are telling me is that there are a lot of heartbreaks in these unions, and so they are opting for the other option, which is not biblical, not recommended, not acceptable, and it is not practical, though they are forcing it through. So, as members of a Christian family, as parents, let us see how we come in as parenting and as teachers at the same time to let our children know, or to let the youth in our families know, that the Bible remains what it was in the beginning, that God created male and female to go and increase, to go and fill the earth. And that remains what it is. Thank you, Mwalimu.
I've appointed myself as the moderator of this session, so don't wonder why I've taken over. Thank you. I think those are pertinent questions, and allow me to just structure them so that our presenter can pick. The first question being that how do we strike a balance between strictness, firmness in bringing the children, giving out the rod or not giving the rod in the modern world? Then there was a concern that even within ourselves in Sabaki, the children ministry is lying heavily on the women ministry or support from ladies. How do we get the men involved, more so from your experience from a much bigger church? Maybe some tidbits that you'll give our elders so that in the next 6 months he can get us those men. But beyond that, the young man also talked about the issues that we are not discussing. Issues about pornography, sexuality, these difficult issues that the Gen Zs and the youth are engaging, and we are unable to discuss them within the family and also maybe within the church context. We know they are happening. We know people are drinking. We know young men are drinking. We know members are drinking, even from the lesson that we had today. But we are unable as a church to discuss some of them. How do we address some of those? And maybe lastly, which is important, how do we also, with these emerging issues like online space, children have computers when they go to school, so when you tell them that no, don't go to the computer, they tell you, I'm doing homework. So how do we manage that? How do we manage the issues like what my elder is saying, the modern concept whereby you are told that bring a picture of your family to school, And some of the children are bringing pictures of their families where it's a single parent home or those kind of things. Those are the realities. And even those textbooks that you have seen, in some of those textbooks, the family is not defined the way we used to. So how do we deal with that? And last but not least, how do we deal with what I would call emerging issues? Now we are being told things like children's rights and these kind of things, to the extent that even with these young children, for example, my young children, the amount of discussions we have with them, because at some point we discovered that if we used the old system or the way our parents managed us with kiboko, things would not work. The amount of discussions you have with an 8-year-old, it's really tiresome. Even this and reality is, and sometimes we don't realize, even for the young men you see in church, if I tell you the hours I spend with this guy, you would pity me. Thank you.
Thank you. In fact, Elder, I'm just confirming, I heard him say that in the morning you told him that you will not talk to him. And I was imagining my dad, me telling my dad that those years. You could even open your mouth or even look like you are imagining that internally. You have not verbalized. It can be worse. But those are the things that we are seeing. And some of them are coming because, remember, the Bible says that there will be lots of changes as we move towards the end of the world. And that is a reality. That is a reality, saints. We have just to see what we can do. There's one that was given to me, and this is also another sensitive one. Allow me to start with it, Elder. It was written. And this one comes in to parents. And I want to seek parents. Kindly, don't discuss teachers with your child. Don't discuss a teacher with your child, especially negatively. Atuwe mwalimu namjua tu. Yes. Yes, it's true. Yes. You will see it propagated. Even you will overgain from the children. Because the parents have decided to discuss church leadership at home. Exactly. Now, since it is wrong, please, even if you are hurt so much by that teacher or that leader, don't share it with your child. Don't share. The picture that you are showing is that the church is bad. Those are the people who are there. Now, this teacher whom you are discussing your child with is the same teacher who is with your child. What are you telling this child? There are two ways. Either mtoto anakuona kama wewe ndio mjinga. Kama yule mwalimu ni mbaya, kwa nini unanipeleka kwake? So nani mjinga? Unaona, they look at it, saa zingine huko ndani anacheka, tunasema huyu haelewi hata kidogo. You see? And number two, they are saying that place is bad. No wonder you see children grow and it reaches some time they don't want church. Why? Because those people in church are bad. Why do we go there? So, saints, even if you are hurt, find a better way of addressing that with the leadership, not involving your child. Maybe that person, that teacher, is the best friend of your child. The trusted one. So please, let's just avoid that. Especially discussing about, na hata huyu mwalimu wenu huwa anavaa aje. Ako tu na nguo moja kila siku anavaa. Na hata kizungu, huwa anafunza nini? Huwa mnaelewa kweli? Children will come and tell you that, kuna mwalimu wetu huwa anaongea son mingi. Hata wewe usisema, sasa hiyo kizungu ni ya wapi? No. No, it is bad. It is bad. Parents, it is bad. And I talk like that because I've heard it. Number one, I'm a teacher by profession. Teacher by profession. I left formal teaching in 1999. 19 March. Formal teaching, classroom. After teaching for 11 years. I left that. But now still, I find myself, I teach these children. And I've been teaching since then. I was a Pathfinder Adventurous Director in New Life in 1992. 1992. All through, I've been in the ministry, all through. So I know the impact that the teacher has in the lives of children. So when you talk negatively about this teacher, whom your child trusts, you are impacting negatively on your child. And by extension, negatively on the church at large. Now, how do we balance between firmness and ruthlessness? Now, do you know, being firm does not mean you beat. Nothing to do with that. Being firm means that when you say yes, it is yes. When it is no, it is no. Not yes, 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 no. No. When it is yes, it is yes. And when, for example, you tell them that whenever you are going, especially when you talk about with the teenagers, tell them whenever you go somewhere, please let us know where you are. The question is, do you tell people where you are? Maybe, elder, you are the big man in the house. You say, sasa mimi, nyumba yangu niwaambia kule niko. Start by that. When they see you, wewe ndio mwenye nyumba, lakini ukichelewa unasema, by the way, I'll be late. So hata wao, wanapochelewa, watasema, Dad, by the way, nimechelewa. Saa zingine wanakudanganya. But what is important, they have done what? They have told you. They have told you. Because hata wewe unawaambia. Having that discussion with them and making sure that anything that you say, and that's why I was saying that when you are affirming what you do, for example, you say that on Sabbath, it is Sabbath. Nothing else. Si wewe on Sabbath saa zingine na kuona kama unakaa kama uendi kanisa ama unachoka unawaleta. I normally see in some other places, especially men, you drop children in church, you disappear. And the same guy wewe ndio utawaambia I want you to be in church, wanakuangalia wanasema hiyo ni church gani? Hiyo ni church gani for sure. So when we are talking about firmness here, my brother, when you have agreed on things to be done, do them. I remember those years when I was the Adventurous Director, and I want to tell you, when you talk about firmness and sticking to this, we agreed that whenever we used to meet in Central Church, and we agreed that when you come late, those years, even that hotel was not there, so it was big. You go round that church. Hivi unakimbia hivi twice when you are late. So one day I came late, and we used to sit hapo tu nyuma ya Union. Hapo ukikaa unaona gate straight away. So as I was walking in, they started shouting, "Teacher is late. Teacher is late." So they wanted to tell you, you are late. What do you do when you are late? Kama niwe ungefanya nini? So you were ni mwalimu, kwa nini unakimbia? So I had to go round. You know, as you go round, they look at, okay, kumbe, there are rules, and these rules don't only affect us, but even who? The teacher. And the beauty with them, the beauty with these boys and girls, when you start running, they'll follow you. So you'll be running together. To them, they are enjoying. But one thing that is good is that you are following the laws. You're following the laws. In the house, they can be able to see you as an example. When something happens, they can see. In church, we talk about this. And since I don't worship here, I might say this. During the service, you find majority are on Facebook or on TikTok or in church. In church here. But when you see the Gen Zs in using their phones, unaanza kwa nyinyi mmeanza kuharibika, mmeharibika kanisani. Unajua wanaangalia wanasema between me and you nani ameharibika? Ama wewe unapotumia si kuharibika, mimi ninapotumia ni kuharibika. Making noise in church, we talk a lot. Then we tell children, and they zip. Na wewe unaongea. You see, these are the things that we are saying that now being firm does not mean being ruthless, does not mean caning, but just showing the children the way to be followed and stick to the rules that have been agreed. Now, the other thing that also came up is the issue of the boy child. And this is true. This is true. And my elder, remember the East African Union noted this thing last year. And I'm just wondering how this thing has not trickled down to the churches. It was noted that we are losing our boys. We are losing them completely. Many programs you find they are ladies. Many programs. Men are very busy. And they'll tell you they're looking for money. This money, whom are you going to leave this money for? There are those who are very busy doing other things. And I normally use this example. And children, this one does not mean that you don't read. It is better. It is better to have an E with Jesus than having A without Jesus. And I'm not telling you, children of God, that you get E's. In fact, in church, our children are the best. Exceeding expectations. Okay. Okay. Now, children, what I'm saying is that it is better kufail mtihani lakini uko na Yesu kuliko kupita na hauna Yesu. Haitakusaidia. Lakini sisemi ya kwamba uende uanguke mtihani yako. Hapana. Watoto ambao wanaenda kanisani ndio wanafanya vizuri hata wapi? Shuleni. Because unapokuja kanisani unanyenyekea, unaomba Mungu akusaidie upite mtihani wako. Unapoenda kule unaona tu vitu zinapita na unafurahi. So this aspect, why am I saying so? Is that so many young men have looked at their daddies, but their daddies are very serious looking for wealth. It is also good to have that wealth with Jesus. Kama hakuna Jesus, hiyo wealth yako ni bure. So can you bring the child? Can you show the children that you are there? Please. And in this church, I saw a number of men. And this is just a deliberate move. You don't wait, my elder, to be taken. Men need to go. In fact, the union started a program, Mentor boys. You mentor. You get young boys, mentor them, talk to them, even out there, just sit down with them. What are the issues they are going through? Now, last month was May, It was the month for mental health. And I was sharing, the whole month I was sharing in my church. And we noted that men go through a lot of mental issues. And men here, I'm talking even boys. Why? Now these boys, as young as you see, like kama yule amekaa karibu na baba, akianguka kidogo mzee atamwambia wewe kuwa mwanamume, acha kulialia hapa. Can you be man enough? Sasa unalialia. Sasa ukilia dada yako atafanya nini? Okay. Mimi nikiumia nisiseme, nikufe kama mwanaume. And you know they grow like that, Now if a man comes to this church crying, what will women do? Wataanza kucheka. Huyu bure kabisa. But this man is hurting. Huyu anaumia. So, unless the men who are here move closer to these men, because these men, when you want to describe a boy or you want to describe a man, will be that person who does not cry, that person who feels it's okay even if it's not okay, that person who is just happy, things are okay, hata kama naumia ndani. Now, they are hurting. So, if we don't move closer to them, they only see mummies around them. Number one, they know the church is for who? Now they are waiting for that time that they'll become man enough. They leave that church. They'll even go as far as, and that is what they do. They go marry people who are not Adventist. They force them to come to church. You must be in kanisa yetu. Lazima ubatizwe. They are being baptized. Wakishabatizwa, anamuacha hapo, anarudi huko nje. Why? Because even the dad did the same. Alileta, akamwacha hapo, yeye akafanya nini? Kwenda kutafuta pesa. So, my challenge to all of us, and in fact the union had brought it, and we are supposed to look at how do we mentor young people in churches. Mentoring by being where children, in the children classes, go there. My elder, even I teach sometimes, I have been taken to that class. The baby steps. Be there. Challenge those, because there, I don't know how it happens here, but I've seen in Nairobi East, I've seen men come with their wives there. Bado hao ni wachanga bado wamependana kabisa. Unatembea, wanaenda na kapo. That is the point to get them. Challenge them that they continue like that throughout. When the baby is young, the mother is not feeling well, let the man come with the baby to that class. Challenge them. When they see you people go there, and in fact, it's a deliberate move that elders can do. Elders, because I know elders normally go to baptismal class. But how many of you are 7? I'm told you are 7 here. You're 7. So how many are in that baptismal class? Only one. So the rest? Who is the Sabbath school leader here? Please, my sister. Now, can you take these men to those classes? The elders. Let them go there. Let them, number one, they'll know the challenges that these ladies go through there. Number two, they'll be able now to be with them. Take them to the youth classes. Take them to the ambassadors classes. Let them be there. Hizo maswali nzito hata wao wajibu huko. Now, if you do that, you'll see a change. These young men will be able to see this church is not only for ladies, it's for all of us. Start programs. Identify maybe 1 or 2 boys in your church to mentor. Just calling them, finding out how are they doing. What challenges are you going through? Just discuss. It will bring a difference. And I've seen it happening. Now, there's the issue of discussions parents avoid, and this is a problem not only in Sabaki, it's a problem within Adventist Church. Issues of sexuality, we don't discuss. Iyo weka kando, we don't discuss. Here we don't discuss. Na vile we don't discuss, children go and discuss it on their own. Now, it is an opportunity for us to share with them. Now, this Bible has everything you need. Everything. Everything you need. Go through the Bible with them. You will be supported. So have a time, like what he was saying, we don't discuss with them, we tell them don't. Let me tell you the curiosity in a man. Kile umeambiwa usifanye, ndio unafanya nini? Why do you not do? Like what he has shared, pornography. Now tell them that these things are there. Tell them they are there. Now so that hakuna mtoto atasema ya kwamba I wish my daddy or my mommy told me. That is a blunder on your side. So have a discussion with them. Start from a very simple way. Pole pole. I wish the children were not here, but I'll ningewaambia. Then you move until you discuss with them, so that they are aware that, oh, these things are there. Now, I know of a family. Let me give you this basic example. A family that say that we are Adventist, we don't eat meat. We don't eat meat in our house, so we don't cook it. He went visiting with the children, another family. Na walikuta wamepika nyama. Watoto walirarua nyama. Ni kama ile mbio, unaona wanararua haraka kabla baba hajasema wawache. Walikula mpaka unajua watu nashangaa, kwani kuna nini? Wanaangaliana, wanasema sasa kwani kuna nini? Aibu. Why? Because wewe kama hutaki. Now, by the way, have you told them why you are not eating? If they ask you, kwa nini ukuli, wanasema, unauliza maswali mingi. Tell them. Tell them. In fact, it is right now, in fact, it is not even happening in Adventism. If you look at healthy eating, it is not even done in health. Wale wa nje saizi wanaifanya vizuri kutuliko. Why? They have known the benefits. They are known. I tell my people, my young people in the house, that there are things that I have known now that I wish I could have known earlier. My life could have been different. So that's why you tell them that this and this and this, if you avoid, it will not be a problem in future. Right now they have phones. They can be on the phone even for 8 hours. What is the danger? Their eyesight, their mental brain. My sister Christine here will tell you the impact. At one point there was a forum that someone was saying that, Chris, don't worry. Wacha watumie tu simu mpaka vichwa ziruke. As psychologists tutapata kazi mingi sana. Because watakuwa wenda azimu. So we'll have a lot of business. Christine, kazi itakuwa mingi. But we don't want to go that. So when you are told, don't expose yourself too much to the screen and all that you feed into your brain, all that you feed in the brain. That's why even kulala ni shida. You have been watching very funny movies. Now when you go to sleep, because that is what is in a subconscious mind, hiyo ndio unaona. Unaanza kufikiria vile unakimbizwa na watu, unashinda unakimbizwa na nani. Now hiyo ndio movie ndio ulikuwa na watch this other side. So you need to find out, how do you manage all that? How do you manage all that? How do you manage all that? Tell them, talk to them. Now, the issue here is that, now, is the phone wrong? Simu ni mbaya. Simu ni mbaya? Si mbaya, but wrong use of it. Misuse is a problem. If you don't use it well, utakuwa kwa shida. And it's important to tell them so that hata kienda kutumia, by the way, niliambiwa. And by the way, all these things you are doing, that even they are doing, not that they don't know, they know. They know. Sometimes they ask you a question and you don't. One of the children in my house told me that, Dad, nowadays Google is the answer. Because you don't tell me, I go where? Google will tell me everything. Now Google sometimes even, in fact, they will find that it cheats them. But since the Google ndio mwacha wapatie, itawapatia. Exactly. But that one they don't see. Wanna pick what is there. So we need to have a discussion with them, even in those difficult issues. Like what he has mentioned, and I like it, that if it comes from the young person, and I think maybe, Elder, during the camp meeting, please, during the camp meeting, let these young people get an opportunity, someone to discuss with them this. And they'll be able, someone whom they can open up with. Yes, please. Yes. 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 Thank you. And as we do that, let's not allow parents wakuulize, we kijana wangu alikuwa anauliza nini? At one point in one of the churches, we had a discussion. It was an ambassador Sabbath. And I told ambassadors to write questions. Some of them wrote sensitive questions about their relationship with their parents. They wrote questions, I had them. Then one of the parents after the meeting came and told me, Elder, si unisaidie na hizo makaratasi niangalie, najua handwriting ya kijana wangu. Kuna swali iliulizwa pale, hiyo najua tu ni yeye. Nikamweleza, I can't give you. I can't. Unaona sasa, that is victimization now. Ataenda sema, nasikia ulienda kuuliza huko. Sasa huyu amekusaidia. You are adding more problems to yourself. You have allowed this child to open up. aseme kile kinamsumbua. So why do you follow up again and be sure na ni yeye? Kama unajua ni yeye, unaweza kuja uambie, by the way, kuna swali lisema pale aliulizwa, lakini naona huyo ni mimi kabisa. How can I do it? How can I do it? It helps than you want to victimize the child. So open discussion is key in all this. Now, we are hoping, I'm told there's a training coming in. The same thing that we go around when we talk about online issues, talking about snacks, and it's true. Now, there are those bites and snacks that are also laced with drugs. Now, some of them you find that when you give your children, they just become hyper. You wonder, kwani hii ilikuwa ni biscuit, inaweza fanya rukeruke hivi. They are laced with drugs. Why are they laced with drugs? Now, there's a law. I don't know. There's somewhere where they're saying that very soon, and in fact it has happened now, there will be no advertising of issues like tobacco, alcohol on the media. Not even the signboards. Now, what are they doing? Because if there'll be no advertisement like that, they start with these children. They start creating the craving early. So huyu mtoto anapokuwa, there's that craving of either smoking or drinking. Whether you advertise or don't advertise, the craving already, it is there. So as you have said, it's true. We need to find out. Then lastly, the issue of child rights, we need to find out. Because when you talk about child rights or rights, all of us, rights are given by God. Rights are given by who? By God. Now, our work as parents is to ensure that these rights, children have their rights. Nothing to do. Remember, rights, we have rights. When you have rights on the left-hand side, you have responsibility on the other side. So the responsibilities are even more heavier than the rights themselves. Normally, we emphasize so much about the rights and we forget about the responsibility. Children have a responsibility to respect their parents. That is a responsibility. And it's not easy. It is heavy. As we look at all that, we'll be able to bring up children who understand things well. And above all, in church, let's be the examples. If you want disciplined church, let's be disciplined. These children will walk softly in the sanctuary. I don't want to mention a church here, but there's a church here. When you go in there, people walk softly. And up here is not an Adventist church. But when you come to Adventist church, so if we want the church to be a place that is holy, can we also ensure that we are holy? Then the children will be holy. May God bless you.
Thank you so much, Elder, for the same. Allow me to very quickly also thank all the teachers and the teachers who are up front here for the session. I know we have gone beyond time. I'm not seeing Teacher Sarah. You are there. So just come very fast, 1 minute. You give the vote of thanks. And as you do that, Elder Juju, you'll come and close for us with a word of prayer. And we appreciate all the parents. This is a discussion that we can go on and go on. But I think in the very few moments we've been able to learn. So once again, from my own behalf and from the Children Ministry, thank you so much, Elder Wadoi, for finding time to be with us. I knew it was short notice, but we really, really appreciate the same. Asanteni.
Thank you. Let me take this opportunity to thank you all parents for being with us. We are grateful. May God bless you. Our teachers, thank you for the support. We appreciate. Our preacher, thank you very much for taking your time to come and teach us. We hope we'll look for you another day. You'll come even for the training for the teachers. We can organize for that because I know how you can deliver. Yeah, I've tasted your class. So we have something to crown our day. We have a cake. So we'll go out and have it. But before then, we can call our elder to pray for us.
Naomba tusimame kwa ajili ya sala. Tunaomba. uishie mahali pa juu. Bwana, tunashukuru kwa wingi wa rehema na fadhila zako kwetu. Tunashukuru kwa uwepo wa Roho Mtakatifu amekuwa pamoja nasi kupitia kwa viongozi wetu na mhubiri wetu wa leo. Bwana, tumepungukiwa kama wazazi, tumepungukiwa kama watoto. Bwana, tuneemeshe ili kwamba tuweze kusimama mbele zako jinsi ambavyo wewe unavyotaka. Katika jina la Kristo tumeomba na kuamini. Amen.
Assemble under the tent. Karibuni.